different states in these.
Oh my god!
I've seen you for ages. How are you doing?
I'm alright. Yeah.
Last time I saw you, you were standing on your head.
Yeah, that's what I usually do when I'm doing events.
Across that. And how it doesn't really do too much to the situation.
So it was the first slaves who became independent.
That was the United States.
Up your
Or actually, the Netherlands probably is the first national liberation.
To say it's the same is not true, but to actually look at what they were doing, what was it? A long time. I mean,
Play in. It's possible to
Yeah.
No, I just want to say that everything's fine, like I agree, but can you not record, please?
This idea of festivity, festival, creativity in a revolutionary practice. The idea of, for instance, in the case of reclaiming the streets, taking over a street.
Use the city incredibly functionally. Everything is allotted a function. Shops are shops, banks are banks, streets are streets. Whereas the SI idea is that the whole thing is just a free-form playground for you to do whatever you want in. Break away.
But also, who is the biggest landowner closest to where the Elizabeth line went? The City of London Corporation. So all their land values went up because any land near the stations went up. Yeah, so, and at the same time, just last week, you had the regulator for are kind of materialised in the city, so therefore you have to try as hard as you can to get around them. I do really want to come back to what you were just speaking about, but I also would love to have a break because
This is kind of overlap in terms of being against the state for the schools and practical trajectory that it happens to be. Well, I think what I was going to say about is I think there's a lot you can say about what the situations actually did, who they actually.
when was vegan riot? That was,
So when this James was in class war games, and his then partner Annie he had some birthday party, yeah. And I took Artie along, and they tried to serve vegan burgers to Artie, and he.
certainly, if you look at his very latest gig, and it's we decide against simple.
It's like also intrinsic, like they see the shape in me, but by working in their unshaping, or as somebody was telling, crossing here and creating a new path that can become a path for the next that is coming. So by getting lost, we're also creating something in a way. In this kind of reality.
can't argue. These are all a man committed to his operation. Yeah, but it shall not be anything. But it's not reasonable. Yeah, no, it's
Proceeding that, going beyond the canvas, the written word, the painting, the sculpture, the piece of theatre, was about, especially through their integration with the critique of everyday life, was about making every single moment, not every one, but as many moments as you could of your everyday life into a creative practice. The new art would be the art, the beauty would be that of the situation and how it was lived and how it was experienced.
Many situationists define themselves as advocates. Why have various anarchist groups adopted a lot of situationist practices as part of theirs, much like Up Against All Motherfuckers did. And I do think there's something to, this is something that David Graeber says, where he's like, you know, Marxists are often defined through specific figures or people, so your ideas and concepts, and that it's not really about the production of new stuff. It's not really about making stuff as much. It's about taking what exists already and reformulating it or destroying it or interacting with it differently. And I wonder if that's maybe where we get to the core of the question, which we kind of hinted at a bit next door, but we didn't speak
much about is the relationship to art as a notion of a thing.
Of the tournament is to invert the meaning of something. And that's where, because my reading of that is what you're doing is if you invert the meaning, you're trying to make it into proper game. You take the capitalist stuff, like in ad hacking or culture jamming, you see a lot of like Coca-Cola logos, for example, and Coca-Cola killed, something like that, you know. So you can ad jam, what's it called, ad hacking. Yeah?
How situationism has such an appeal to anarchists. I think it was really interesting talking about the relation to anti-work, because I think it's hard to think of another kind of artistic movement where you can start from a base of nothing, of having no money, and you know, every other art movement has a attachment to a material or a canvas or kind of a location that necessitates how you produce the art. But I think, yeah, that's
Characters. You know, I guess the hyperlink is like a helpful psychogeographic tool in that you can use it to kind of jump between these different spaces, but more and more with the enshittification of platforms, it's harder to find new or things that you haven't come across that aren't completely shrouded in advertising, and I guess that's something that the letterists and situationists were very
a thing which is just the thing that Bright does. You know, all these tactics are things which can be used by anyone. But the interesting thing that the situationists did was to combine that with leftist theory, which made it all a bit more coherent, and that I think is what binds it all together. Because if you take the tactics by themselves, they're just things that you can do to fuck with the world, which is interesting, always pretty much. But like when you combine it with, yeah, that kind of intellectual history, it becomes like infinitely.
To English culture, does he just not want to know? Or it's kind of, I just come across that. It's a kind of random. There's probably no answer to it. Just maybe start thinking about, yeah, it comes out with all these very, there's no such thing as situation, and all that sort of stuff, and it's very famous to come out. It's like, you know, probably fun coming out with all that stuff. Something like that. I find that quite interesting. So there's this discussion again going on in the 50s and 60s, that kind of comes up in that period. So it's happening in I mean, particularly with Terence Gray, who was the Netherlands. No, not the I'm sorry, since my stroke,
Book.
Are these things for grabs or?
Yeah,
he handed those
You're
out. Okay.
allowed to steal. Oh,
Yeah, take one.
please steal. He's got a book you can steal as well.
Take one of these as well.
Run out of space.
Yeah.
Steal this book.
Oh, take this one. Take that.
Fuck anarchism.
Thank you.
Fuck anarchism.
Thank you, guys.
I was like that fun. Have you?
back to the conversation around commodification of art. I really like the example of using censorship against this, role of commodification of the group Up Against the Wall Motherfuckers in the 70s, how they chose that name so it could not be published in newspapers as a method of not being commodified. So, for example, if today you formed an artist collective called I Support Palestine Action, that is a way to kind of move towards this growing censorship that can be a method of kind of subvert.
And I think we've got to stop them. Because they are really fucking around and they are really killing a lot of people. And we've got to stop them. You know? So I think younger people are going to have a better idea of how to stop them than me. But you know, that is what's going to happen. see them doing all their bombing there. You know. That's my feeling anyway. So, yeah.
Office workers, drones, is that they have a business vote, and that's why the City of London Council is a road planning authority, right? Agreeing all these high-rise buildings by saying we need more and more office space, whereas actual fact, you know, the government bailing out Canary Wharf because the City of London Corporation, which is the local council, has brought kind of people using office space, corporate businesses back into the city, and are doing all sorts of strange shit, right? So just around the corner from here, you've got the new law court and the City of London Police Station. I mean, that's another oddity. Is that the City of London has its own police force. All these are historical oddities which you understand if you know about this area. And so when they laid the foundation stone, on the one hand you've got them spending a fortune on new law courts which aren't even needed, but they're just trying to ingratiate themselves with the government, which is what the City of London Corporation always does. So it could be wiped away with the street.
Even the thought that there's something I need to do, which is, I don't know, like just giving up this sense of property, which is like saintly capitalistic, like we're gonna aim to create something that I think probably that's like just reflecting the same strategy, and maybe something that could work with just not caring about, just giving up the property thing, just giving that up.
Not only the property but also the ownership. No?
Yeah, yeah.
Anti-art.
The same,
art is
yeah,
something new that is gonna get commodified. No, maybe we are creating art right here, right now.
Yeah,
And it's not owned by anybody. Like we are all speaking, we are all part of a room. This is anti-art in a way. So I think challenge this idea of ownership is actually really interesting, and I've been also thinking a lot about it during the whole conversation, because we are really stuck on names, years, but we are also here. We have the capacity to create something new that is not owned by anybody, but yes.
Okay.
Everyone uses ChatGPT today, so
It's ChatGPT is situationniste.
Is that changing?
Down.
like AI.
Someone hold it so I can.
Yeah. Oh, can you hold that there?
Yeah. Down. With
It's the come.
the kids. That is a Norman yoke, isn't it? It's a Norman flag.
Done with the king.
Kids. No, he's thinking he's
Get down with the kids.
69. If the kids
No, never be divided.
It's going to be a postal breakout.
Hey, little rich boy, take a good look at me.
That one was a Norman